When Kings Island opened in 1972, the star attraction went to the dueling wooden roller coaster called the Racer. However, the Racer was not the park's most expensive ride at opening. That award would go to a ride called the Enchanted Voyage, located in the happy land of Hanna-Barbera. The Enchanted Voyage was a boat ride that would take you into your television to visit 6 different scenes: a colorful cave, a wedding in the land of little people, a hillbilly-esque hoedown, an elaborate water world, a spooky haunted house, and an over-the-top circus finale, all filled with loving and playful Hanna-Barbera characters such as Scooby-Doo, the Flintstones, the Banana Splits, the Jetsons, and many, many more. The ride was designed by Richard Harsley and Kings Island staff, and the boat system was built by Aero Development. It featured over 100 animated characters designed in Japan, and the biggest one of them was Guliver at around 30 feet tall. The signature part of this attraction was that it featured a specifically designed theme song just for the ride, called Friends in My TV. The song was composed by Paul DeCourt, a Hanna-Barbera music recorder, and the lyrics were created by William Hanna and Dennis Spiegel, one of the fathers of Kings Island and president of International Theme Park Services today. In the second year of its operation, the park put a friendly snail in the front to greet guests, saying,
"Oh, hello, welcome to the Enchanted Voyage. I sure hope you enjoy the ride and have a happy day."
In 1983, the ride seemed a little stale to guests, and Kings Island had just paid $1 million for the rights for the ever popular Smurfs at the time. In 1984, the Smurfs took over Kings Island with the Smurfs Enchanted Voyage. Through designer Brad Kane's work, the park was able to create a ride that used the Enchanted Voyage's same layout that would take guests through the land of Smurfs through 4 different seasons: spring, summer, fall, which had many spooky Halloween scenes, and a beautiful winter scene. Of course, the Enchanted Voyage theme song was replaced by the infamous La 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 La. But come 1991, the ride once again began to seem a little stale. So park employees brought in R&R Creative Amusement Designs, who just got finished designing the park's newest coaster, Adventure Express.
Just passing through, are you?
The Phantom Theater was an omnivore dark ride provided by Morgan Manufacturing. It was very similar to the Haunted Mansion found at Disney parks. Phantom of the Opera was very popular at the time, hence why they went with the theme. The animation was done by a company called AVG that featured 38 different spooky yet silly characters. The ride was themed to an abandoned theater that the maestro has invited you to take a tour of. This ride boasts 17 humorous scenes of robust color and imaginative variety, all centered on the onstage and behind-the-scenes workings of the theater. Also during this time, the loading dock for Smurfs Enchanted Voyage was removed, and Scooby Zoom, now today called the Great Pumpkin Coaster, sits there today, and parts of the building was converted into a children's theater called the Enchanted Theater, which is now called Peanuts Showplace. Rick Bastrop, the head designer of the project, he spent a long time doing that, and Richard Doyle played most of the voices of the ghosts, who appeared in many movies such as Air Force One and even had a recurring role on the sitcom Cheers. There were 55 ride vehicles of up to 3 people, and the ride featured some spectacular spooky effects, such as the Pepper's Ghost effect and the Reverse Bust effect. Here's the ride walkthrough as told by Theme Park University. Just beyond the load, Maestro welcomes us backstage to the theater. Now, those posters we saw in the queue were coming to life. These posters were printed on scrim, where every few seconds a light would shine behind the frame, revealing the Phantom's versions of the performers in the show. Next, we went past the dressing rooms and we would see small glimpses of characters manifesting. We then ran across a half-bodied usher summoning us to take our seats for the big show. Around the corner, we found ourselves backstage where a Phantom stage manager throws a switch on a lighting board. Seconds later, he's shining a light on your car with a flashlight in total darkness. As the cars rounded the corner, guests came across two stagehands. Needless to say, they had been out of practice for a while. Next, guests would enter rehearsal rooms where they would see the talent warming up. Now it's showtime. An usher shows us the way to the theater. It was a large Pepper's ghost effect like used in the Haunted Mansion ballroom scene, and it was very difficult to get pictures of. It wasn't as large or as grand in scale, but still very effective. As guests exited the theater, Maestro was there taunting them, saying they needed to see more. Next, we entered the prop room where there was a statue that had come to life thanks to a projection effect, similar to Madame Leota, and a gargoyle that had come to life in the corner. The final scene in the boiler room of the Phantom Theater. Two guys were keeping the boiler running decide to turn up the heat for guests riding by, and they open the gates as a hot blast of air goes over the car. So that's just a glimpse of what the Phantom Theater was. Some of it still lives on today. The bus can still be seen in the small hallway before the loading platform for Boo Blasters, as they had been boarded up and two glowing eyes had been stuck onto them. The furnace in the final scene can still be seen in the last scene of Slaughterhouse, a Halloween haunt maze next to the Beast. The Great Garbanzo's cannon is also in Madame Fatale's Cavern of Terror, another Halloween haunt maze. Even the balcony where the Maestro sat is still there today in the first queue room. In 2003, the park unveiled Scooby-Doo and the Haunted Castle, a Sally Ghost Blasters dark ride. It was billed as the first ever interactive family ride to hit Kings Island. It featured 101 different shooting targets and featured 27 ride vehicles, which the park had took out half of the cars from Phantom Theater. It still used the same Omnivover system as the Phantom Theater, and in 2006, all of the Paramount parks were sold to Cedar Fair, who, in 2009, did not want to use any of the Nickelodeon or Hanna-Barbera rights anymore. The ride was converted to Boo Blasters on Boo Hill, giving it an even more family-friendly vibe for families to enjoy to this day.